Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge. Hey. When are we going to do your fighter spotlight? Next week?
Whenever you want, man.
I get to interview you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how this is going to go down. Maybe Justin will come on with us and I can interview both of you at the same time.
Oh, that'd be interesting. You should invite him.
Or should we? I will. I'll invite him. Or should we let him get his own shine and have his own moment, and then you do yours by yourself?
That's fine too. You ask him what he wants to do. I'm down for whatever.
Okay, I'll ask him.
I'm not gonna shy away from an opportunity to see where he's at. But
we have a very special moment on the podcast today. So last Friday, when we recorded our UFC breakdown, we have officially, after 185 episodes, we have our first public hater.
Yeah.
It's only taken a year and a half.
He's lucky I didn't see the comment.
You can't comment anyways because you're banned.
Well, I can't comment, but I'm on the podcast and you have to listen to my voice. So, hey.
I thought it was funny.
Hey, Drake. One, your name's Drake. Stop it. You're not a rat. Like, stop. And two, if you don't like it, don't watch. Hey, there's this beautiful thing in 2021 in the technology. There's this thing called variety. And you can go wherever you would like on the web. But you chose to stop and listen to us and then took the time to comment on our show that has nothing to do with you. Thank you for watching. Two, if you don't like it, you're wasting your own time because we're going to do it. And most people like it. And three, we're not doing this for your happy ass.
You're a little more fired up about the hater than I am.
I think it's this stupid age that we're in 2021. Guess what? Guess what I don't do?
He commented corny.
I don't like Stephen A. Smith. So guess what I don't do? I don't watch his show.
Okay, one other thing. Since it was made public, we can talk about it on the podcast. How stupid do you have to be to break into somebody's car and see MMA equipment, UFC gloves, pads, whatever, in the backseat of somebody's car, and you take the stuff? How stupid do you have to be? Wait. Maybe that's not the question. How tweaked out do you have to be to steal an MMA fighter? Not just any MMA fighter, a 6'2", 270-pound male.
That's why you shouldn't steal stuff.
So does he get 2 more wins on his record?
I hope so.
That's my question.
You shouldn't steal stuff, folks, because you don't know when it's Derek Lewis's car you're breaking into. You don't know when it's Fiji's car. Like, you
don't steal.
Don't steal.
Don't steal.
It's a crappy thing to do.
Or you get head kicked and then your buddy gets his teeth knocked out.
Or somebody like Kent Mafaleo comes walking up. Like, I mean, and not that was stealing.
Wasn't Kent the one that somebody had a road rage thing and got out of their car?
Oh yeah, bad idea.
Can you imagine doing that? And then Kent gets out and it's like, oh hey
man, you're good.
Hey, I just wanted to buy you some Starbucks today, man. No big deal.
Yeah, whatever you want.
I love it, dude. I love it. Oh man, what an epic card we had on Saturday night, man. That was good.
Epic. And then you know what? I'm looking at the thing right now, and you know what I just realized?
What's that?
We didn't even get to see Sean Brady and Kevin Lee.
No. Nope. Did they reschedule that bout?
I don't know, but
no, Lee has a rib injury. I don't think they rescheduled it.
It's probably a good thing for Kevin Lee.
Yeah. Should we just start at the bottom? We can just jam through some of these first quick ones. Zugamagulov, Jerome Rivera. We were both wrong on that one. I think we took a flyer on Rivera on this one. He's getting his walking papers after that, isn't it? Four L's in the UFC.
I mean, I'm not Sean Shelby, but I can't imagine
and he hasn't
before in the UFC
and hasn't looked good. I think he got 1, 2.
I actually thought he looked okay for a little bit. It's just
for 2 minutes.
He got wrapped up. Like
he
got his neck wrapped up, Jason. Like, it happens, dude.
Well, he's been finished 3 out of 4 times.
I know. I'm just saying he looked better. Like, I think he's getting better. He just ran into the wrong guy.
Brad Tavares and Akhmedov. I think we both called that one. We both thought Brad Tavares would win that. That was a split decision. I don't know if I agreed with split. I thought Brad did enough to win that fight, but
somebody was trying to rob him. Brad clearly won rounds 2 and 3 in that fight. Clearly won 2 and 3. And so when I saw split, I was like, oh boy. Even he said, he's like, man, I thought they were going to do me like that, but
they almost did. Who? I wonder if I can see who. Let's
nope.
go to Ed.
Omari Akhmedov needs to figure some things out, man.
McCarthy gave him a 28-29. McCarthy has been the other way on. He's been controversy on a couple fights. Interesting. Anyways, Jennifer Maia, Jessica I. We both thought Maia won. I actually thought Maia won. We both picked Maia to win. I actually kind of thought I won that fight, man.
I wasn't really worried about I winning the fight going to the judge's decision, especially when I heard 30-27, which that seems a little rough because Jessica I definitely won a round. But I think the judges were a little bit swayed by how much Jessica I was bleeding.
Yes, that was a nasty cut.
Even bad look, but it was an incidental headbutt. It's not like it's not like Jennifer Maia did the damage. It was an incidental headbutt, and that's just part of it. But I mean, is what it is. I think Jennifer Maia won. I thought she landed the more significant.
I thought it was pretty even, but the pressure from I is what I thought was going to sway the judges the other way. I'm not complaining because I picked Maia. So,
well, you got to remember what's their criteria of judging that Scott Bowler thing, and one of the main things that they're judging is before like pressure and cage control and stuff, it's executing a game plan. Well, Maia was looking to counter strike, so and allowing I to come forward more, and she was doing when I was coming in, she was landing the harder shots.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to say that she executed her game plan a little bit better than Jessica I. The other thing I would say is Jessica I never had Jennifer Maia in trouble.
Yeah.
And I think that there were moments where I think that I was a little wobbled or a little hurt from some of those. She recovered well. She showed a lot of heart, but it just I wasn't mad. I didn't feel like it was a robbery by any means.
Yeah, it was close. I thought it was close.
It's a good fight, though. It was a good fight.
Roman, Luke, D, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Dreykus, Plessis, and Trevin Giles. Man, I was dead wrong on this one.
I was very angry about this fight. I really think Duplessis is the most overrated 2-0 guy with 2 finishes I've ever seen in the UFC. I just don't think he's that good. His guard is so high and tight, he looks scared to get hit. But it's twice now where he covers up so tight and so hard that people overextend when they're trying to break that guard and they leave themselves open, and he lands these nuke counters and drops them. It's 2 guys now.
2 guys in a row.
Trevin Giles is going to be kicking himself for that one for a long time because that was a very winnable fight for him.
I thought so too.
And he dropped that one. He's going to be kicking himself. Good luck, Duplessis. Like that, it's coming. See, you know what really makes me angry about somebody like him?
What's that?
How is that guy in the UFC and Chris Curtis isn't? Chris Curtis mops that dude.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like, man, why does he get this shot? Like, I am not impressed. He obviously hits hard. He's at 185 pounds. Like, I'm not saying I'm better than him or whatever. Yeah. I'm just saying compared to a bunch of guys in the UFC and guys that never got a shot in the UFC and are in some other, like, I'm just not that impressed by him.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They like him.
You got pictures of Uncle Dana naked with some chicks? I don't know.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Ilia Topuria and Ryan Hall. This went how I thought it was going to go, not how you thought it was going to go.
Ryan Hall almost caught his leg a couple times. And
I don't think he was in danger.
Well, I know you don't because you don't understand it.
He wasn't in danger.
you're wrong, because if he secures one of those legs, the fight's over for Ryan Hall's getting his hands on.
If Taporia threw a punch and caught him clean, it would have knocked him out. It's the same thing.
I know. It's a coin flip, but I'm saying there was 2 times where he almost secured the leg. Taporia did a very good job. I still think Taporia is wrong in the fact that he thinks that he trains with people, a room full of people like that. There's nobody else is like Ryan Hall. Nobody else is like Ryan Hall. But this isn't jiu-jitsu. This is MMA.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like
but you can't compare him to other black belts, because he is a black belt that makes other black belts look not good, especially in the leg lock game. And he's so good at it that if he gets a hold of your leg, it's over. But Taporia did a fantastic job. One, not overcommitting and getting so close that Ryan Hall could latch on to something securely.
Yeah, he had a good game plan.
And then 2, when he found his opening, he did not shy away, and he put Ryan Hall's lights out. First one to do it. It was bound to happen eventually.
To me, at this level, you got to have more than one skill set. You can't just come in there just being a jiu-jitsu guy. It will get you to that level, I think. It's not going to get you to the top level.
A specialist is probably not going to win you make you a contender anymore.
But it was kind of cool seeing him roll around on the ground and kept going for that attempt. I mean, he had a game plan. It was entertaining.
I thought it was entertaining. He hit him with a couple head kicks too.
The Vegas crowd, the uneducated. We can go off on that later when we get to the Poirier thing. Anyways, Taporia, dude, he's 11-0 now. 11-0 at 140. Now he's at 145. He's got 3 wins in the UFC. Good wins. Beats Yusuf Zalal, beats Damon Jackson, and now he beats Ryan Hall. Dude, he's turning some heads, man. And he's young. He's 24, 25 years old. Oh, anyways, what's next? Michelle Pereira, Nico Price was next. I think we both took a chance on flyer on Nico Price on this.
I liked Nico, and Nico won that 3rd round. I thought very clearly. I think he didn't show enough urgency in the first 2 rounds. But Pereira's a tough guy to be in there with, the way that he moves and the way that he.
A specialist will get you there, but you got to have more tools than just that.
Hey, El Jefe, let me explain something to you though too. The UFC tried to get Israel Adesanya to the UFC years before he actually came, and he said, "Nope, I'm not ready. I need to get better at my jiu-jitsu and takedown defense first." He made himself a more well-rounded mixed martial artist before he made that jump to the UFC. Now, does he have a specialist skill set with his kickboxing? Absolutely, he does. But they're not his only tools, and he's shown a competency in takedown defense and on the ground. We haven't really seen any competency in striking ability by Ryan Hall. Is that fair to say?
It's fair. What do you think? So what were you impressed with Pereira's game plan on this fight? He fought a little different. He wasn't as off the wall,
less flashy,
a little more composed.
I think that will serve him well. He still did some fun things, right? He still did the backflip.
Did that little backflip, yeah.
But guess what? It was effective, and he did it, and he landed in side control from it. If he could start using his flashy to just not waste energy, because that's what's kind of viewed before, right? Is he was just wasting energy. If he can do these things in there and execute a game plan where using a little bit of flash to help you, but technique is still at the core of it, I think it could serve him really well. And he's a big 170er. He's
huge.
He could make a very, very interesting run, and with a little bit more experience and tightening but fighting like that, I could actually see him beating some guys with some ranked numbers by him. He hits hard. He hits hard.
And he's young too. He's only 27. Young. Crazy.
Jiu-jitsu jiu-jitsu black belt, I believe. So interesting to keep out for my Michelle Pereira. I did not think that he was somebody that we'd be taking seriously when I first saw him, a couple fights ago.
Yeah, likewise. Max Griffin gets a big win against Carlos Condit. He looked good. I thought he looked real good in that fight.
I thought Condit still looked good. He showed some moments.
Those little leg sweeps he kept doing when he was tripping him, those were pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely had his moments, but he just seemed like he was just behind just a little bit.
That was straight up just Father Time saying, sorry, you can't run with these young bucks no more, man.
Max Griffin, I was
impressed. They both look good. I thought they both look good.
Well, he's no spring chicken, though, either. He's 35.
I know. It's a good fight for Carlos. Dude, it was a good opportunity to try and get him back up into that mix. It's okay, dude. He was the last WEC welterweight champion, however long ago.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was fun to watch him. And, I think it's fun to see those legends still be competitive. Even though he didn't win the fight, he's still competitive.
Yeah.
But Max Griffin did what he needed to do.
Main card, we got Sean O'Malley against short notice Chris Muitino. Dude, that kid was impressive. Well, his ability to take a punch was impressive.
Okay. So now that we've had some time to digest,
and
recap it, we are celebrating him for his durability because he got his what.
Oh, he got his ass whooped.
Right?
Yeah.
And never really was able to find any sort of his offense. Which most people can't against Sean O'Malley, right?
No, he puts most of those people out in the first round.
Oh, that's what everybody was betting, O'Malley in the first round.
Yeah, or even
couple things I like to say though. When you get dropped, he was end of the first round. He got saved by the bell because that guillotine was in.
Yeah, he was done.
5 more seconds, and he was going to sleep. So gets up, shakes it off. He was rocked. Didn't know where he was. Right before the round, looks over at Sean O'Malley's corner and gives him the bird. Did you see that? Dude, you know what? And O'Malley's doing all this like basketball, like dribbling between his legs before he turns it.
Dude, come on.
All this flashy, like all this kind of flashy nonsense stuff, like Michelle Pereira flashy nonsense stuff. And then it's cool when it works, but when it doesn't work, like, what if Chris would have clipped O'Malley? Like, there was a couple times where he swung and landed on O'Malley where I was like, dude, he might have hurt him.
I would have been pretty happy. I'm not I know Sean O'Malley's obviously got the popularity. The crowd popped. He's a big star.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
Let's get to the real issue with this whole fight.
Yeah.
Herb Dean, you moron. This is usually Jason's. This is usually
my.
I'm going to get really mad about this. I've never been so mad at a stoppage in my life. That looked borderline rigged to me. Like Herb Dean had a giant bet on
inside the distance.
Sean O'Malley wins by KO or inside the distance.
Inside the distance, yeah.
That was ridiculous to stop the fight with 30 seconds left. Now Dana said, oh, good stoppage. He could have stopped it way before that. He could have stopped it the round before that.
He should have.
You know what? I would have been okay with the second round stoppage.
Yeah, me too.
Or way sooner. My issue isn't saying that it was stoppage. It's you let him take all that beating for 14 and a half minutes, and then you stop it with 30 seconds left. Like an extra 20 punches is going to do the difference. Get out of here. That was horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Dana gave the kid the $75K performance bonus too.
That was pretty dope. That was dope. And he's going to get another fight too. He's got to get another fight.
I'll bet you signed a 4-fight deal.
Yeah, good for him, man. I don't know if he'll do anything, but he's got a fan base now. He's got a fan base.
Dude, he's Nate Diaz 2.0.
That's true.
He's cut from that cloth. No, but he's cut from that cloth of dude. I mean, right, to be Nate Diaz, you're going to have to do it for about next 17 years. But but dude, those shots put everybody away with O'Malley.
It's crazy.
Everybody. Crazy. And he had O'Malley looking at the clock, being like, how much longer do I got to do this, dude?
O'Malley's, I'm not a huge O'Malley fan, but his accuracy was pinpoint, man. He was just piecing him up. I mean, I guess it was pretty much a stationary target, so I probably could have hit him too.
Technically and fight skill wise, O'Malley is he's good. He's really, really good. All the guys he called out though, I'm not positive that Cody Garbrandt is a good fight for him yet. I don't know if I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Cody Garbrandt just got beat by Rob Font, but
I actually think he
pretty
beats
dang good.
I actually think he beats Cody.
it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not totally sold on O'Malley, the contender yet.
I'm not either. I'm really not.
And Cody just went 5 rounds with Rob Font.
Crazy.
No, he said Rob Font. Dude, Rob Font smokes O'Malley, I think.
Yeah, he's not ready for that yet. I don't think so. Give it to him. Okay. They won't, but give it to him.
That'd be fun.
Next up, Irene Aldana and Yana Kunitskaya.
This was the one I was dead wrong on.
Man, Aldana looked good.
Aldana, yeah. Remember, she missed weight.
She did miss weight by 4. And did you listen to the post-fight thing where Dana's like, yeah, I'm giving her that she looked good. And somebody was like, she missed weight. And he's like,
didn't know that.
She didn't know that. And like, you just told her she was going to get $75K and now she's not. He might still give it to her.
I bet she still gets some money. Here's the other thing, and I don't think people realize this. People don't realize this. He announces the bonuses, right?
Yeah.
You know, he gives fighters, like, he'll give, like, some of these fighters, he'll be like, man, that was a good performance. Here's an extra 10 G's.
Yeah.
He just gives it to him cash under the table.
She'll get taken care of. She was impressive.
You know what I mean? Like when people talk about fighter pay and stuff like that, and Dana always talks about, he's like, man, these fighters, they're fine. Like they get taken care of and this and that. Well, the ones that come out and like show out and stuff, even if because they get their allotted performance bonuses that he gives out, I don't think they realize like when they come and show out too, sometimes he just kicks some extra cash on towards their contract.
Yeah.
Or they offer them a new fight deal and say, you know what, you are way worth more than, 12 and 12 here. You know what? We're going to tear up that contract. You only have 2 fights left on it. Here's a new 4-fight deal at 20 and 20.
Yeah.
24 and 24, you deserve a rate. Like they do that all the time just for performing well and for no reason. And he doesn't have to do that.
No.
So,
but Aldana looked good. Boxing was crisp.
She looked great.
Totally wrong on that one. And I was wrong on, I don't hate picking Greg Hardy, but
bam.
He was on wobbly legs though. He was on wobble.
Was he or did he act? Rewatch it.
He was on wobble.
Rewatch it.
I think he
kind of wobbled, but part of me kind of thinks that he got hit with a good shot and he kind of just like shook it out and was just like, because
I don't know about that.
He comes in and hits him with that right and then that left right on the face, and Greg Hardy's eyes go back and he just falls straight back. Dude, I screamed. My wife was like, I heard you scream like that in a fight for a long time. It's because I was so happy, because if there was one fight I wanted to be right about, it was that one. That was the only one I cared about more than anything. I wanted to see Greg Hardy get knocked out like that, and I knew Bam Bam could do it.
I think you and about half the stadium was thinking the same thing on that fight. Dude, Tai Tuivasa, man, he's got a following now.
He did before, but it just elevated so much more.
I love the shoey on the cage. That was pretty dope.
They said he did multiple shoeys walking back.
Oh, he did at least 3. I saw when he was walking back. At least 3. He did the one before the hot sauce. He did the hot sauce one. Somebody dumped a beer from the top and he was like drinking it. Are we doing the shoey? Are we doing the shoey on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, yeah, absolutely.
We got to do the shoey. We're going viral. Zach and I are doing a shoey.
We'll get some like Jordan 1s.
I'm not ruining my Jordans with this shoey. What are you thinking? No.
Yeah.
Co-main event: Gilbert Burns, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. It pretty much went how I thought it was going to go.
Burns did. So here's the thing. If that's how you thought it was going to go, that's impressive, because nobody does that to Wonderboy. Nobody really does that to Wonderboy.
I thought it was a coin flip fight. And I mean, I'm not saying I made some bold prediction that, I just went the other side. Like it was just,
no. I get it. No, it was good though. But Burns, that was the least explosive we've ever seen him, but it was the most
smart.
Patient.
It's what he needed to do though.
But you know what was really interesting with me is I went and rewatched the Thai fight, because who doesn't want to watch Greg Hardy get knocked out again? But I went and rewatched all 3 rounds of this fight, and I missed something before. Did you hear his coach yell at him between rounds, tell him to wake up and get going?
I must have missed it.
So his coach between the second and third round was like, "What is your deal? Get going.
What's his deal?
You need to win this fight." And that was not the game plan. He was uncharacteristic. uncharacteristically patient. His coaches were not expecting that. Now, I will say this. He was fighting not to lose, rather to win.
Well, he's just coming off a knockout loss to the champ. That I guarantee
I
that was in the
know.
back of his mind.
I know.
It was in the back of his mind.
Oh, and Thompson did drop him and hurt him with that spinning back kick.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but he did what he had to do to stay in contention mix, which you can't. I'm not criticizing him. I'm not saying he did something bad or whatever. Dude, he beat Wonder Boy in a way that almost nobody beats him.
Nobody did.
Which, by the way, too, Gilbert was just prepared. He brought the right people into his camp. He did the right things. Now, if you're Wonder Boy, it's like, that's probably it, dude. That's probably it.
Yeah, 38 years old. It's like, it sucks that he never got a chance to fight Usman, but I think after watching that fight, we know the outcome of that fight. I
think if it was 2 or 3 years ago, it would have been more competitive. But I think what you just saw was Father Time saying, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah.
Like, thanks for everything, because he's been great and he's been a great fighter and a great ambassador for the sport. You know, the NMF title, right? Nicest MFer in the UFC, and nobody's nicer than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And I think it's been an absolute treat to have him. But I think our days of viewing him as a title contender, unfortunately, it breaks my heart because, one, I'm wrong, and two, I wanted to see him have another shot. I think it's over.
So do you make Burns and Edwards? Is that the fight to make?
That's the fight that I would love, because then the
only one that makes sense.
Because the winner is then the winner of that fight. It's undeniable. Gets the winner of Usman Colby. Personally, for me too, I wouldn't be mad if they made Colby and Burns fight to have another. I think
Dana's already said Colby Usman, right?
He did say that, but what I'm saying is Colby gave Usman his most competitive fight. It was 2-2 going into the fifth.
Yeah.
Burns rocked Usman and dropped him and came close to probably actually beating him.
Yeah. Yep.
Right in the fight. So for me, I step back from a logical standpoint where Usman already holds wins over these guys, 2 wins over Masvidal. If he wants to take his time and they want to be active, I like having to go fight and earn it. Or you know what? And this might surprise you. Give Leon his shot and let Colby and Gilbert fight for another title fight.
Either one of them makes good sense.
That's actually probably the fairest. It's probably, from a sports standpoint, the fairest is Leon gets the jump and let Gilbert and Colby fight.
Welterweight division's getting fun.
It's been fun. What's nice is we're starting to get some clarity in the layout and really kind of seeing where people really fit and stuff. So I don't know, man. I liked Burns calling out Jorge, Leon, and Nate.
I liked it. Yeah,
you're not going to fight Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz isn't going to fight Gilbert Burns. But try to get paid, dog. Got to get paid.
And main event time. I'm going to go to the bathroom break, but Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, you can go ahead and get us started. I'm going to go take a potty break.
Okay. Everybody. So people are going to say a lot of things about this fight. Me and Jason were all over Poirier. I tried my best to talk myself into Conor because I didn't want to be the Conor fan that picked against Conor and was wrong. But, if it doesn't, Conor didn't even, Conor had his moments, but he didn't win the round even. And there was a lot of people that argued that it was a 10-8 round, that Dustin was so dominant in his ground and pound, which I think Conor's defense was a lot better than most people gave him credit for. His face didn't even have any marks on it from all that ground and pound. I did think it was interesting that Conor's face didn't even have any marks on it from all that ground and pound. So you got to take his defense was pretty good on the ground and pound. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just had his ear was cut up a little bit, but like his face, like from his video and stuff, he didn't have any bruises or any swelling or anything like that. So, but I was just going to say, when you're Conor and one thing that I've always loved about Conor, that even when he lost, he took it like a man and he was humble in defeat. And that was the first time that he wasn't. And one, I agree with his coach, John Kavanaugh. He just broke his ankle. or his leg, right? His tibia.
Yeah, that's what I think it too. Yeah.
Hey, Joe Rogan, get the microphone out of his face, dude.
Oh, you could tell he wasn't. You could tell
I think they did him a giant disservice right
he
there.
wasn't in the right headspace at that. Not saying I'm giving him a pass for some of the stuff he said, but
no, he doesn't get a pass.
Not getting a pass, but you can't give him the mic. You could tell he was in shock. He was just like, oh no, like, yeah.
Oh, you can't how dude, you can't believe that if you're Connor, I mean, of course you're angry too, because right, you did all this work, you really thought, and by the way, I thought he did some good things. He looked very flowy again on the feet. Those kicks looked effective.
In the first half of the round, I thought he did, but I thought Dustin started. I thought the writing was on the wall the second half of the round. Like Dustin started.
I think Dustin probably finishes him in the second again
because he was picking him apart towards the end. He was connecting towards the end.
Yeah, but even Dustin said that he buzzed him again. He said the kid could punch, like, and he buzzed him and he gave him his props. But you could see Connor was tired when he got up.
Yeah.
And I think that would have worn not well for Connor into the second round. We were right. Like I was just saying, I tried to talk myself into Connor because I didn't want to be the Connor fan that loves Connor and picked against him and then looked stupid with Connor starched him, right? But like we both kind of knew, like let's be honest. If you were to make those betting odds, I probably would have had Dustin at minus 220.
It should have been. They really should have.
You know what I mean? We got so much value with Dustin. Like, did Connor have a chance? Absolutely. I mean, yes, he had a chance. It's a fight. Anything could happen. But dude, Poirier is the superior fighter everywhere now.
How about the freaking
Vegas? The only advantage Connor has in that fight is his explosiveness in the first round.
Yeah.
That's it. Durability, punching power, grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Check, all Poirier.
Yeah. Poirier's I was impressed with his post-fight interview. Like he handled himself just about as classy as you can be. And so what's up with the Vegas? How do you boo Dustin Poirier?
I don't know. You got to be you stupid. Freaking. This is what's so awesome about Poirier, and this is what's so awesome about Oliveira Poirier. There's not a good and a bad guy.
No,
it's just going to be awesome. They're both great guys, right? And say what you want about Connor. I'm going to say this. This is right or wrong. Connor crossed a line.
Oh yeah, I think everybody agrees with that.
I believe, and like what Dustin said, talking about killing him.
Yeah,
you're good dead. And I don't know if you've seen the other angles, but he talked about he's like, I'm going to get you. It might be in your sleep, like all this type of stuff. Like, and that stuff. It's like, dude, you're crossing a line because now you're taking it from sport to real life, and you're taking it beyond just competition. And if you need to get in that headspace, like for the lead up or whatever, but like threatening people. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to just go home to our families. Like, they're fighters. They're not. This isn't a drug war. These aren't rival gangs. You know what I mean? And it's like Connor brought that a little bit to life a little too much, and maybe that's where he has to go, and it worked for him while he was the bully and winning. But now that he's losing, it just makes him look like it just makes him look like a dick. Everybody's saying the stuff about Poirier's wife. I think families are off limits.
Yeah, you have to, in my opinion,
But and even Poirier, if you look at his face expression when they said Jolie flipping off Connor in the cage, and even Poirier kind of tilted his head and just kind of shook his head and rolled his eyes. He didn't like it because the other thing is guess what? Jolie never gets brought into it if she doesn't try to send Connor a DM. And for the record, it's not like she wasn't asking for a pick.
No.
She's probably saying you're a giant piece of trash for welching on your.
Who knows what it said? It didn't show what it said. It could have been anything.
It didn't. But you know what else didn't show? Jolie didn't post what she sent either. I'm
not worried about that.
I'm just saying it was she inserted herself into the narrative. She did that.
It's still no.
He shouldn't have, but she inserted. If she doesn't do that, and doesn't insert herself into the narrative, Connor doesn't have anything to say about
Yeah,
it.
but you don't know what it was about though. You don't know what you have no idea. She could have been asking him about charity stuff. It could have been anything.
Jason.
Now, if it was something where she's being disrespectful and okay, then yes. But
Jason,
until we know what that says, I'm not going to make any assumptions. And if
it was about charity or asking a question or something other than you're a giant piece of trash or whatever, then she should just screenshot it and
why didn't Connor?
Because he wanted to keep his narrative going about it.
To
be the bad guy, right? So he could be the bad guy.
I think
and try and get under Dustin's skin. I'm just saying, like, dude, I had the same conversation with my wife. She knows, and she's not this way because she's awesome and she wouldn't, but she knows, like, that's not her space to ever say anything to one of my opponents.
But you don't know. You don't know that she said anything though. You can't make that assumption. You can't make that assumption. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't. Not unless you can see what was on there. You cannot assume that she was being negative. You sound like never mind.
Of course you can make that assumption.
No, you can't.
She wasn't trying to be friends with him. They haven't been friendly for months.
How do we know? We don't know, Zach. We don't know.
Do you really think that it wasn't? If I had to bet a large amount of money on it, I would almost guarantee that it was, you're a giant piece of trash as a human, and I can't wait for my husband to knock you out again.
What was worse?
Along those lines.
What was worse? What Connor did and said after, or what Colby Covington did on his little mybetbookie.com bullshit with Dustin?
Oh, and I take that back. Remember, we talked about this. I want to see Poirier go up to 170 and whoop Colby now.
Like that to me, that crossed the line way more than what McGregor said.
What Colby did and his actions, unprovoked and everything. Because here's the other thing, right? Connor, this is where I always say, between fighters, I don't really think anything's off limits.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go with you in that. Yeah.
When Connor's sitting there calling Jose Aldo or whatever, all those things, because at the end of the day, you have to get in the fight with him. You have to get in the cage with them.
Yep.
If somebody says something about my wife or my kids ever before in the lead up of a fight, yeah, I'll probably lose it a little bit. But at the end of the day, that guy has to get locked in a cage with me. And that's, and I get to carry that into the cage. I don't think there's a place for that in martial arts, but you do. But for Colby to say that to somebody that's not even in your weight class, you're a chump, dude. That was bad. And I actually have kind of always been a Colby advocate in a little bit.
Me too.
Like, I can't ride with that. Like, I can't go with that.
You know what sucks, and you and I have talked about this a little bit before we went on air, is unfortunately we're going to see a lot more of these antics as the sport grows in MMA. We're going to see the douchebag crowds. We're going to see the fighters doing, saying stuff like this to build the popularity. We're going to see the Stephen A. Smiths and the Max Kellermans on the broadcast.
Hey, by the way, you brought it up. You know what? One, I like Max Kellerman. I love Max Kellerman. I think he's very fair to the athletes, and I don't think he oversteps his bounds. Two, I think Steven learned his lesson from when he made his comments last time, and I felt like, especially being next to Dominic Cruz and Michael Bisping, he kind of knew his role a little bit better. Yeah, and he never said anything. He said facts, right? He didn't question. He wasn't out there questioning a fighter's heart or their will or somebody. That's you're gonna lose fans coming from where you're coming from and then questioning somebody's heart when you can't even, like, toddlers throw uppercuts better than you do.
He even made up a point. Dominic Cruz made a statement to something he said, and he even deferred back. He said, "Hey, I'm not gonna question something from a guy that's been a world champion. I'm not gonna sit here and question what he's saying." And I thought that was I mean, look, I don't watch the guy anymore because I don't really care for some of the stuff he says, but I didn't think he did that bad on Saturday.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I think putting him in a situation where he's sitting next to two guys that is going to whoop his ass if he mouths off and gets a little disrespectful, like he is.
Make him look stupid.
Yeah, they're going to make him look stupid. And I think he's a smart enough guy that I think he realized that, hey, I'm just on here to help promote the show, and it is what it is.
And That's my whole thing. I don't mind if those talking heads are on there as long as they stay in their lane and they stay respectful in a world that they don't really know or understand. And it was painfully clear that he overstepped some bounds last time and took some liberties. This is not ESPN First Take where you just say things to be controversial. Like that doesn't fly with hardcore MMA fans.
Or else you're going to get Kwame Brown coming after you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but I felt like he stayed in his lane better, and that was good. I like Max Kellerman. I feel like he stays in his lane. I love Teddy Atlas, even though he had no idea what he was talking about in the grappling stuff, and he tried to talk about it. But I love Teddy Atlas. Like, I thought the production was actually really good.
They're bringing more eyes to the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and there's going to be some good and there's going to be some bad with it. Overall, it's just going to make the sport grow, in my opinion. I don't have to like everything that's happening, and because I don't like a lot of the stuff, but I want the sport to grow because that just means
number one thing that I would will make me wish that it wasn't 100% as mainstream as it's turning into is the uneducated fans and like booing good guys like Dustin Poirier. That's like the one thing about becoming like a big sport that's like kind of sad to watch.
It is really that.
And you know what? I'm glad Dustin Poirier told everybody to kiss his a-hole.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
You can't boo a guy like. But
I freaking love Dustin Poirier. That was the thing. Aldo was giving, you were there. He was giving me a hard time because they know I like Connor, but I'm like, I'm not mad. We just made bank on one. We made bank on Dustin Poirier. Yeah. We made bank.
All in on Dustin Poirier.
He got me enough points on DraftKings to cash. Thanks, Dustin Poirier, after Trevin Giles tried to screw me. And then 3, like I love Dustin Poirier too. That's the thing. That's what I love about MMA is I can go into a fight loving and wanting both guys to do well. And Dana White, I'm going to end on this. Hey, Dana, we don't need to see McGregor Poirier 4.
No. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing McGregor comes back for is Nate Diaz or one of the Paul brothers. It's money fights. It's not there should be no ranking, no number, nothing.
Come on. I got one more name for you that I think you could get with.
Who?
Him and Tony Ferguson should finally happen.
I could get down with that too.
I could get down with that now.
I could get down with Ferguson, Diaz.
I think they're 2 guys that used to be elite 155ers that can't beat elite 155ers anymore. Yep. And I think you have them headline a fight night or co-main a pay-per-view. And I think it would be really fun.
It would be very unwise for Dana to try to do like an RDA McGregor because I think he wrecks him.
I do too.
I think he wrecks him.
RDA.
Well, I shouldn't say wreck him. I'm not giving Connor enough credit, but
you know what? I think if Connor is focused and healthy and stuff, he can be a little bit more competitive against RDA because I don't think RDA is an elite 155er anymore. I'm not saying I would bet on Connor to win by any means, though. But I think that would be. I think that's closer to Connor's peak now is to be able to beat somebody like RDA.
Stage is set, though, man. Oliveira and Poirier.
Oh yeah, and Chandler. Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje.
Did they announce? Is that for sure?
No, but I'm just saying, how do you not make that fight now?
Well, DeRusse is higher than Chandler, so
but you said he wanted to take some time off.
Okay, so then let's get Gaethje and Chandler. Like you got to do that.
And let Dariush be a backup.
Jeff just said it. Yes, give the fans Chandler and Gaethje,
dude, on the same card.
I was just giving you took the words out of my mouth. Give it the same card. Give it to him.
And then let Dariush and RDA fight each other, all on the same card. We literally have the 6 best 155ers in the world.
RDA needs to be ranked number 5. Connor and Ferguson need to be out of the top 10, in my opinion.
I'll bet Connor drops below. I bet she drops to like 8 or 9.
Which, I mean, yeah. Anyways, dude.
Yeah, I would. And everybody's freaking out because Dana's like, yeah, I guess he said, I guess when Connor gets back, like,
Yeah, but he's just talking.
And so he said that, and everybody's like, oh, Dana said there's going to be a number 4.
He didn't commit. No.
That's how I took it. I took it. He's like, yeah, I guess we'll see. Like, maybe, I don't know.
He was.
Kind of. And then when they asked him again, it's like, well, it's timing, right? If Dustin Poirier is the champ when Connor's ready to come back, Connor isn't going to come back and do a title fight.
It's like everybody. Speaking of timing, it's like everybody pissed off about.
Connor doesn't have that type of pull anymore either.
but it's like everybody being pissed off that Derek Lewis and Gagne are fighting for the interim title when, dude, how big of a fight does that make that? They both get let's just say Game wins or either one of those guys wins. Now they fight for the title. There's 2 champions. They get pay-per-view points. No. They're both getting paid. So Dana's taking care of them. He's giving them more money that everybody wants them to see. He's giving them more money, you freaks.
This is actually a point I wanted to make on this. Everybody is so against these interim belts, and they're the same people that are crying that Dana needs to pay him more money. Guess what he just did? He just signed up to say the winner of Gain and Derek Lewis will get taken care of even more to fight Francis when that time comes.
Derek Lewis is making the same money either fights, and he's going to be making more if he wins to fight for the championship.
Hey, guess what? Stipe's not ready to come back yet. Cool. Great. John Jones isn't ready yet. Cool. Great. Francis, that's who he wants to fight, is one of them too. Cool. Wait. Make the interim. Like, to me, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I don't hate it.
And Dana's just going, hey, cool. Guess what? Now the winner's going to get pay-per-view points for the fight. Like,
I don't think people knew that because I didn't really comprehend it till just recently. I started reading up on it more.
But that's how you have to look at it.
I wasn't bothered by it.
Fight.
Yeah,
it's a title fight. It is a good thing, folks. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
He's putting more money into their pockets, and not only that, and then 2, it forces Francis to fight the winner because Francis doesn't want to fight either of them. Do you think Francis is afraid of Derek Lewis?
No,
I don't either.
No,
but I don't get why he doesn't fight him. I think he respects Derek Lewis's power and says that's probably the one guy that can knock me out.
Well, you saw that in the first fight.
Yeah, but I think he's afraid that that's going to happen again. Oh, we have one more thing to argue about before we hop on with Marco.
What are we going to argue about now?
You think Tyson Fury would piece up Francis Ngannou in 4-ounce gloves?
Where are they fighting, in a cage or in a ring?
In a cage. That's what Tyson Fury said. He said he'd do that, and then he's going to put on 4-ounce gloves, and he's going to come fight him in the UFC for a super fight. See, I thought it was
at first. I thought it was boxing. I don't think Francis
murks him.
No, I'm going to stick with what I said. I don't think so. Because Francis isn't taking him down, and Francis
he doesn't need to. Guess what? Those shoulders.
You ain't knocking Fury out like this. Fury's coming straight down the pipe. There's a big difference in the way that those punches are coming.
I am a believer in that. I think Francis Ngannou is the scariest human being to ever be in that octagon. I think
he doesn't murk him. I don't think he does. I want to see it. I want to see it now. No way he murks him. No way.
All right, let's hop.
Are we jumping on with Marco?
Yeah.
All right. I think I got his email address, but text it to me just in case.
I just did. I already did.
We'll be back on the.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in, even the haters.